So picking up at number 9, notice we have an A that is not 1. Our A is 12. Nothing goes into all three, so I'm looking for A times C, which is positive 24, where B is negative 11. The numbers that do this, that multiply to 24, that add to negative 11, are negative 8 and negative 3. And again, these will replace the middle. We'll go more color-coded this time. So I keep the first term, 12x squared. I replace the middle with negative 3x and negative 8x, and I keep plus 2 on the end. Now I factor by grouping. Out of the first two, 12 and 3, I can factor out 3. They each have a power of x. Dividing each of these by 3x, I'm going to get 4x. And remember, negative 3x divided by 3x is not 0, it's minus 1. Out of these two, bring the minus and 2. When I divide them both by negative 2, I'm left with 4x minus 1. Now notice 4x minus 1 is now common to both. And what's around 4x minus 1? There's a 3x and a minus 2. On number 10, there's a typo. That 80 needs to be a 60. But before we multiply 5 times 60, there is a greatest common factor. Out of 5, 40, and 60, I can take out 5. That's the first thing I will do. So if I factor 5 out of them, I'm left with x squared plus 8x plus 60 divided 5 is 12. This 5 is going to kind of hang around, and I'm going to go the short factoring here. So x and x, and I'm looking for numbers that multiply to 12 that add to 8. Those are 2 and 6. On number 11, same thing. GCF is in play here. Notice that this is x to the third, so that's a clue that this needs something taken out. 3 goes into 3, 6, and 72, so 3 comes out, and I can take out an x. So 3x I can factor out. When I do that, that will leave x squared minus 2x minus 24. I keep this common factor, 3x. And again, I'm going to take the short route because this is just 1x squared. So 3x with x and x. Numbers that multiply to negative 24 that add to negative 2 are not 3 and 8 like they were before. This time they're going to be 4 and 6. And I'm going plus 4 and minus 6. Now on number 12, nothing besides 1 goes into 49 and 16. I see the minus, so my first look is this. Is 49 a perfect square? Is 16 a perfect square? When I can say yes to both of them, I'm going to treat this as a difference, subtracting squares. The square root of 49x squared is 7x. I need one plus and one minus. The square root of 16 is 4. And that problem is complete. Number 13, nothing goes into all three. So my A times C equals 36. My B equals negative 12. The numbers that multiply to 36 that add to negative 12 are 2 negative 6s. I keep the left. I keep the right. I replace the middle. Grouping, I split. Out of 9x and 6x, or 9x squared and 6x, I can take 3x. That will leave 3x minus 2. Out of minus 6x and plus 4, I always bring this middle sign, so I can bring out minus. 2 goes into 6 and 4. And when I do that, that will leave 3x minus 2. Rearranging this, notice there's a 3x minus 2 that is common in both parts, that one. And then outside it is another 3x and minus 2. Formalizing this, I can call this 3x minus 2 squared. Number 14, notice there's an x to the fourth, x to the third, x to the second, so I can definitely take out x to the second. In 6, 10, and 6, it is not 10, it is 16. This is a typo, sorry. Out of those three, I can divide 2 out. That will leave 3x squared minus 8x minus 3. I bring this 2x squared along. I'm now factoring a trinomial where a is not 1, so I'm looking for a times c, which is 3 times negative 3, so negative 9, that adds to the middle negative 8. That is going to be 1 and negative 9. So just like before, I keep the first, I keep the last, I change out the middle. So minus 8x is going to become minus 9x plus 1x. Use the 1, it's probably helpful. I'm going to factor by grouping again. Still keeping this 2x squared. So factoring this part, I can take out 3x and leave x minus 3. The only thing that goes into plus 1x minus 3 is plus 1, and that will leave x minus 3. So when I regroup this, I'll have x minus 3 and 3x plus 1. And the last problem, number 15, I see two terms with a minus, but I can't easily do this, and I can't easily do that. So that's not my plan. But if I look at each of these, I can take 2 out of each of them, and that will leave 9x squared minus 25. Well, now I do know what these are. I know the square root of 9. I know the square root of 25. So I can factor this as a difference of squares. This 2 hangs around. I know the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of x squared is x. And the square root of 25 is 5 and 5, and you need 1 minus and 1 plus. This concludes part 2 of the Quiz 7 review. Study, be ready, do your best tomorrow. Good luck.